Well, good afternoon, folks, and welcome back to the farm. Yesterday evening, yesterday out pretty much the whole day actually, we moved cows off of here. So all the cow-calf pairs went back to Rio Grande for the winter, and then you can see a couple big fellas over there. We moved the bulls over here for the winter. And then, so all the market lambs, they're now out of here. I think there was about 7 or 8 refugees that just, they couldn't be caught. And then when we come to sort cows, they just out of curiosity, they wandered right into this corral. So I slammed the gate shut. And then we got done with cows. I had the wife come down because the other day I wasn't wide enough to cover the alleyway by myself. So we come down and it was Carmen, Charlotte, myself. Finley was strapped into the car seat. And we tried to fill that space. And we went around and around and around. And we had sheep running by us and through our legs and over our heads, and it was an escapade. It was a full-blown escapade, but nevertheless we eventually got them on the trailer, got them sorted, we got them color coded, so to speak, and then out behind the barn ready for market. Now today, because it's a gorgeous day, and absolutely I can't believe it's October, to be honest, but because everybody's off, it's time to get this electric netting taken down and put back into storage for the winter. And I'm going to be really, really meticulously careful with this. I've tried to roll this stuff up a few times this year, and I tell you, you go to roll it out and you just like, it's just awful. It's just the worst experience ever, because when that stuff gets tangled, like it's tangled like nothing you've ever experienced before in your life. But anyways, I'm gonna get it all down, stretch it out, and then just roll it, and then put it all in the back of the truck and haul it back up for the winter time. Actually, before I roll the fence up, I got to show you one thing. So you remember a few weeks back, I was pulled one of these gates off down here in the corrals and fixed it up because sheep. So last year when we brought the cows in, we pulled them into this corral right here. And we had a crazy cow like just go through the gate, bent the gate all up, bent the gate latch. So a couple weeks back I pulled this gate off the hinge, and it's heavier than all get out. I don't know if it's full of concrete or what it's, anyways, solid steel. Took it up, fixed the handle, welded a new lever, I don't know what you call that, the thing you pull on to open the gate. Anyways, got it all fixed up. Yesterday we're down here, and I set the rule. I said, like, if we're gonna come, we're gonna do this in the corrals, it's gotta be my way. It's gotta be calm. It's gotta be like, just come in like, hey cows, wanna move today? And my in-laws, well, they move cows a little bit more like hup, 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 right? It's a little bit more aggressive. Well, anyways, and you get into the alleyway here and you get too many cows and somebody's got to turn around and they go to there and they've got nowhere to go. So what do? They go through the damn gate, and what do you know? It's buggered right up again. So I'm gonna have to, like, cause yeah, I have no travel on this, and I've welded an end on this now, so I can't even get it off. So I'm gonna have to somehow beat this thing straight. Anyways, yesterday afternoon when that happened, it was like 30 seconds in a French immersion class. I put on a clinic for, if you wanted to know a bad word, that would have been the time to learn one. So they all come out at once. And then this gate here, I went to close this gate here and realized the gate doesn't even clear the fence posts. And I'm looking at my father-in-law and he's looking at me and he says, why won't that close? Well, it's because you keep backing your goddamn stock trailer up into this post right here. And then, anyways, I digress. The struggle is real. Let's take down some electric netting. And last night I said to the wife, because I barked at the wife last night too, she come out on the deck and she was just, I don't know, she was making a noise. And I said, I just don't have one more second to give for you to be bitching at me. And I just needed a cup of tea and some biscuits and just decompress a little bit, because I was wound pretty tight after yesterday, let's just say that. Anyways, just looking at the where I had the lambs in the bush here. I mean, they didn't clean everything up by any means, but I am actually pretty impressed with how open it is now by comparison to what it was. It's still a tangled up mess, right? Like there's lots of this willow and stuff that just kind of goes, like it just goes everywhere. And really what needs to happen in here is a good spring grass fire come through and it would burn out all this underbrush, and that would really clean it up. But you know, there's a lot of risk attached to that too, and I'm pretty risk averse these days, so we probably won't do that. But I think early in the spring I'll probably turn the ewes and their lambs before weaning. I'll turn them loose into here. This is maybe one of the first patches I'll put them in, and they can regraze some of that new growth and then go back over to the dugout pasture. And then after weaning, we'll maybe see if some of them want to come back into here and help keep this down. And it might be, you know, after a couple of years of revisiting it, you might have it looking pretty nice. Because I mean, I keep talking about, oh, I could come in here and I could chop some of this up with a chainsaw and I got all kinds of firewood. Have you any idea how many hot dogs I'd have to cook? How many marshmallows would have to be sacrificed to clean this out? I think I'd have a bonfire going for about 5 or 6 years straight. And even if a guy had a wood stove, I think I'd be a little limited on some of this, because I mean, it's not exactly prime wood stove type lumber, right? I might end up having a big chimney fire is what I might end up with. So that wouldn't be desirable either. Anyways, first things first, I gotta get that Energizer turned off. If I would have started dismantling at the end, I might have got 2 or 3 posts pulled out and might have got lucky, and then I would have got, bam, I would have got snapped at. And then you'd see me get wound up again. I can tell you, there's nothing on the planet that's more calming than not rolling up sheep netting. This sucks. This is for the birds, I tell you. But I'll appreciate it next year when I go to unroll them, I'm sure. All right, well, I got 3 of the 4 nets rolled up, and 2 of them were on the periphery. Like, they were in an area like this, where it's like from a fence line, they got to cross open ground, and then there's like 2 or 3 stakes worth into the bush. So fairly open, easy to get to. The 3rd one was into the thick of it, and that was a challenge. And just rolling it was a challenge. So this last one is actually in the thicket. Like, it's like, I don't know, it's hard to traverse the area just to even walk through, never mind to get a net in. Certainly never mind to get a net out. So I'm not going to roll as I go. I'm just going to try and lift the stake and then bring it all out. And then once it's all out here, I'm going to roll this one differently. Not for laziness, not for just for science, because I mean, hey, why not? I've been struggling with unrolling these nets now since we first got them. And I've seen some folks online, I don't know, they fast forward and they're rolling them up, and they fast forward and they're rolling them out, and they don't, whatever, regardless, they don't seem to have the same struggles that I do. But I just don't want the headache next spring. So I'm going to roll this one different. I'm going to put a piece of flag tape on it so I know which one it is. And when I go to unroll it, see if it's any easier at all. Because the other ones are literally, I rolled it right from the very beginning, rolled it all the way to the end. So what I'll have to do in the spring is find a big wide open spot, roll it completely out, and then come by and grab it by the stakes and then walk it into the bush. And that's not efficient either, but if you're going to sit there for 45 minutes trying to untangle a knot, well, I mean, it doesn't really matter how efficient or inefficient you are, because you're just sitting there burning daylight at that point. Okay, so I got this one out of the bush. You can see I just grabbed stake by stake, and it just basically folds in half, and I got a row and a row and a row. Now, what I've done in the previous times I've rolled these up where it gets all tangled is I basically take the roll of stakes and I just roll over and over and over until I get to the end. But my experience has been, when I come to unroll that, that there's no Boy Scout on the planet that can tie a knot like you will find when you do that. So we're going to try to do something different, and I'm just going to try and align all these layers so they're kind of square, and I'm just going to roll the net back until these are on the outside. Maybe that'll work, or maybe it'll be another shit show. I guess I don't know. I guess we'll see. There you go, it's all rolled up. This one, yeah, like I say, it's a bit of a dog's breakfast, but hopefully it spools out nicer. These ones here, they look way cleaner, way neater, but they'll be a little bit more labor intensive to lay out. But I guess it forces your hand when you roll them up all the way along. It kind of forces your hand to not get tangled. Whereas even this, you know, there's still a potential, I guess. The potential is yet to be realized, but fingers crossed next spring when I go to roll this stuff out, I'm not near suicidal when I do it. Well, it's now getting on close to supper time, and well, you can see what I'm gonna eat. We dug carrots out of the garden this morning, and you know, we've had some years we've got close to 700 or 800 pounds of carrots, but I think this year we're down to about 500. We did plant in an area of the garden that was really, really hard, and it wasn't well amended. And that was kind of on purpose, really. We planted them there because the carrots are great for, you know, whatever you leave behind, actually helping to amend the soil. So we planted directly into the clay, and there was no thinning or anything like that. It was just whatever, carrot chaos. And we've got lots. Holy man, there's already 3 big bags in the fridge. I don't know where they're all gonna go. Even though we have a reduced yield this year, we still have more than we can eat, so we'll have to sell some this year for sure. Get them stuffed in there. Stay. Just a quick glimpse at some of the carrots we got. This is what's left to be processed, but you look at, there's quite a few of these just big monsters, right? I don't know what we're gonna do with all of these. I think we'll have to shred them because they're not exactly table carrots. Not gonna happen.